Hello and welcome to Cloudy with a Chance of Games. Here we are on GFN Thursday as we kick off the summer. 13 new games, some surprises. Let's deep dive and see what's in there. Hey, hello.
It worked. Barry, how are you on this fine day?
I am good. It's another GFN Thursday. We've got more news, more games, and we haven't got anything to complain about. How about yourself, Duncan?
I am awesome as normal. It's another GFN Thursday. I think another strong week for GFN. Consistency is key, and they are just totally and utterly consistent at this moment in time, which is class. But before we go into that, what have you been playing on GFN this week?
Oh, I've had two things that I've kind of I've dipped into on GFN in the past week. So I've been continuing my journey in Biomutant. And we all know that I absolutely love checking that out. So it's still got its claws into me, and I'm still enjoying it. But then also with the launch last week, I jumped into Chivalry 2 and did a first look on our channel as well. Into that kind of 64-player kind of chaotic battle experience, which was great fun. Tutorial was a bit ropey, but we skipped that out of the first look because nobody wants to see anybody die in a tutorial. And we just went straight into some of the objective missions in the first look, and it was good fun. And the more that I kind of got into it, I died a lot, but I kind of think it's one of those games where I think that's just going to happen. But yeah, it was great fun. I had a real blast with it.
Yeah, for me, I have been going a bit old school on GFN this week. I have played some Killing Floor 2. Absolutely fun game. If you're looking at a game to kill 15-20 minutes, just go and kill zombies and just whatever. I don't even know if they're zombies. Just go kill things. That is a brilliant game just to chill out too. And I've also went a bit old school, like I was saying. I jumped into a bit of Portal 2. I was playing a bit of that. I just wanted a bit of humor and just something to chill out. And also I have been playing some Legos Builder's Journey on GFN, but we will touch on that shortly. See, yes, did you like that? Did you like that?
You've got that nailed. You've gone straight in with it.
So we will bring this up. We'll just go through the headlines here to start off with. Speaking of Lego Builder's Journey, that has just been added to GFN, and it's got RTX features built into it. So you can jump into this fun little puzzle game, which I am not getting a bit frustrated with at times because I just can't think of things and how to do it. But it is an absolute class game, so check that out on our channel here. What have you seen any of this at all?
I've seen little bits about it, and it does strike me as one of those games that's kind of going to be a bit of fun, but I think it's going to be a bit fun, bit frustration in equal measure. So I can certainly understand maybe why you are, why you've kind of been having those frustrating moments. And one of the things that I liked about it when I kind of seen kind of some of the listings for it is they're kind of saying, the expectation is for you to kind of, sometimes they'll kind of give you instructions and other times they'll expect you to break the rules. So I'm looking forward to checking out your first look on that when it goes live in the coming days.
Yes, touch wood. It should be live when this goes out here later. The next one is the big game. I'm going to set the big game of the week. Even though Lego Builder's Journey has ray tracing and all that sort of carry on, Phantom Abyss, that is taking over the old YouTubers and Twitch streamers' lives at this moment in time. We also have a first look of that with Maker of Chaos is going through that, and again that should be up when this is up as well, and you can see how that's going. I think it looks an absolutely cracking game and something to chill out probably something you can dive into now and again.
It's your definition of chill out. Luckily I know what you mean. But definitely there's been a lot of talk about Phantom Abyss. Obviously we've known for a few weeks that it is coming to the platform, and certainly to kind of now see it here in early access and kind of have access to it is brilliant. So I think there's, as you said, a lot of fun to be had with it for sure.
Yeah. Moving on, I think this is an absolutely smashing get for GFN. I'll bring up the picture here in a wee second, and it is Kenna Bridge of the Spirits. And this game, I watched the PlayStation State of Play a couple of months ago, and I absolutely loved the look of this game. And it is now coming to GFN day and date, and I think this just is absolutely brilliant. And even though it's come on, why isn't this working? Even though it's a day and date game and it's a brand new title, it is in a nice price point of £32. So you're talking about $40 worth there. I just think this game just looks amazing.
I'm really excited for this to kind of launch. I had the same kind of impact, the same kind of feeling when I seen the trailer at the PlayStation event. I was kind of watching it, utterly captivated by it, thinking it's something that I absolutely have to play. And obviously with it, of course, from a console perspective, kind of being exclusive, and then obviously the fact that coming to Epic Store and coming to GFN, I think, as you rightly said, is an absolutely fantastic grab. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be diving into this when it goes live, and I just can't wait to kind of jump in and kind of take that experience that I certainly, from what I've gained from the trailer, I can't wait to kind of experience it, in its entirety.
Yeah, I think you bring up a brilliant point here. This is why I love cloud gaming. This is a PlayStation exclusive in the console space. By going to GFN, people can experience that game and not having to worry about getting a PlayStation to do it. I am just really, really excited about this game. Even before this was coming to GFN, if you can go check out we did a reaction to this, and we were really liking the look of this game. I think there's something about this, and it could be a real great game. And there's just something about it, and I just can't wait to actually play it.
Yeah, definitely. It certainly there's there looks like there's kind of multiple themes and kind of a variety of emotion and exploration and everything that's kind of been captured in it. So yeah, can't wait to get our hands on it.
Yeah, we'll move on slightly here, and there seems to be a hint of something here. What would that be hinting at, Barry?
Oh, I think. Are we coming up to around about the point there's usually a Steam summer sale?
Yes, I believe we may be coming up to the Steam summer sale here. So be well worth keeping an eye out on, just in case something magically turns up. Speaking of which, we may be doing a show live. We're going to say it live, but we'll tell the other person who's taking part. We're doing it live on Friday night. Friday night.
He can catch up.
He can catch up. If the Steam Summer Sale happens this week, which is quite likely, we are doing a Cloudy special where we're going to have a quick look at the sales and pick out games. But to make it interesting, and we'll love it if you guys want to join as well, we're going to be just given a certain budget. We have to choose some GFN games and just keep inside that budget and see what all we could get. We could spend all the money on one game, or we could spend it on lots of smaller games, or you could just do a mix, a big game and a couple of... It's going to be really interesting to see what everybody comes up with. I think it's going to be a bit random, I think.
I think it definitely is. And I'm actually, you know what? I know we've been talking about this, this sort of thing's been in the works and in the planning kind of behind the scenes for a little while now. And now that we're getting closer and closer to it, I'm actually kind of excited to see how it pans out, because I know the vision is in our heads in kind of in the terms of how we want to deliver it. Not quite sure we're maybe as funny as the Top Gear trio, but do you know what? We'll give it our best, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, it will be interesting, and I think the nice thing with the summer sale, as you touched on, is you could go out and just blow that budget of, we're thinking around the £25 to £30 kind of in that space. You could easily probably go out and blow it just on one game. And I think we probably are going to see a variety of kind of tacks in terms of why we're kind of spending what we are, and why we're investing in the game, and kind of adding to the basket. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think it should be a bit of fun. We'll just go briefly down the list here. What games are coming to GFN this week, and it's Industries of Titan, Lego's Builder's Journey, Phantom Abyss, Dual Universe Beta, Encased, a sci-fi post-apocalyptic RPG. Yeah, The Final Station, Iron Harvest, Power Wash Simulator, Spirit of the North, Strategic Mind, Spectre of Communism. Okay, Strategic Mind, the Pacifist. I have to say what these games are about.
Specific. Sorry to correct you.
I'm just naming all the stuff I'm on.
Yes.
Where I kept. I'm all drugged up here still. That's what I'm saying. I don't know where it came from. The Pacific.
We should clarify. He's been to the dentist. That's why he's drugged up.
Yes, and I'm all the B cell, which isn't great. And if we were doing the show a wee bit earlier, I know some people can't understand me at the best of times. You wouldn't have been able to understand me at all. It's just really bad. And then we've also got Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, Conviction, and Tools Up. So what we do now, if you're new to us, is we just go through each of these games. Some of the games we may know, some of the games we may not know, and we just give our honest thoughts on them. If you should get them, or if we would get them, or should you wait for a sale, or things like that. So we will kick this off with the first game. Hopefully I do this right, because I'm just a total professional at this. And it is Industries of Titan, and this is a day and date release on the GFM, which is absolutely brilliant to see that we're getting so many of these day and date releases. And I'll touch on something what we're also getting when we actually come to some of them, but I think this is absolutely great to see. Can I enter that? Well, can I enter that? Win $100 Steam card? I could do with that. Industries of Titan, as we can see here, it's a city builder. It's a me sort of game rather than a Barry type of game.
Definitely. I'd agree with that one.
And let's see if it's in the GFN price point, and it is in the GFN price point of the £20 mark. So I'll be about $30.
Look at that. Special price, which finishes on the 8th of July.
Yeah, which isn't too bad. Early access, for people who don't know me, I'm not a fan of early access. I prefer just when the games come out, I do make special exceptions if there's lots of progress and things on it. And this is this just an early access now? Or it's just an early access launch. So this is just out. This is just launched in early access, but this seems to be fairly far along for an early access sort of game.
It certainly does, and there's, considering it is early access as of the 21st, there's obviously, we're into triple figures on the positive reviews, which seem mostly positive so far, which is always a good sign, isn't it? In the kind of the early stage from those people that are jumping in, you're kind of getting relatively positive feedback.
Indeed. We've got the Steam achievements, we've got our trading cards, and let's see what the reviews are like. 3.4 hours. Just So it looks like this is one of these ones which are in between. This person seems to like it. 9 hours played. So early access game, and it's early in the early access, so we can't really make a choice. But it's a good price point, and there does seem to be a lot of polish and stuff in the game already. So I think this would be a safer early access one to maybe get if you're into that, because there does seem to be a functioning game there.
Yeah, it certainly seems like it on the surface. Looking at the trailer, looking at some of the kind of things that have been said, and that price point, of course, it does look like a slightly safer bet.
Yep. Again, early access, just be warned with early access. It can mean that there's bugs, it's not a fully finished game, and stuff like that. But we will move on to the next game, and it is Lego's Builder Journey. And this is on GFN. It has got ray tracing. Check out the video on our channel. And full controller support, Steam achievements, and it's £16, which is about $20. From my recollection, I haven't finished it, but I think it's a couple of hours long. I don't think it's a fairly long game, but I am enjoying it, what I have played so far. And as you can see, it's you have to do wee puzzles and stuff to get across.
Yeah.
And it's got ray tracing in it. So
why not?
Exactly.
I think, when you couple Lego together with puzzles and RTX and all that sort of good stuff, it's a good concoction to put together. So it certainly looks like fun, and I can definitely see why you got frustrated at some points, judging by some of these trailers or some of the bits they're showing in the trailer anyway.
Yeah. I will. Don't worry, I don't swear during my streams. And just to show here some of the reviews, like I was saying, it's not that long of a game. It's about 2 to 3 hours, like I was saying. But if you're into puzzle games, that's not too bad. Yeah. Some people saying an hour. Again, go in with your eyes open, but I am enjoying it. And it's hard, I'm trying to get this into the words here. If you know what you're going into, then it is worth the money.
Yes, yeah. I think I get where you're coming from in the sense of if you are going into it fully aware of everything and you kind of know what experience you're likely to get from it, how long it's going to last, then it's value for that kind of $15.99 price point.
If you're just looking a game to, basically what you said, £16 for a 2 to 3 hour game. I think that's dead on sort of price. But you may want to wait for a sale if that's a bit out of your budget and you just want to wait. It's one of them games. I think if you want to get it, you'll get it, and if not, you'll probably just wait and just see. Yeah. But I am enjoying it. It's well made. It is fun. It's my sort of game. It's a puzzle game. So it's one of them hard ones to come out and go, and you have to 100% get this sort of game. It's just how long the game is just the only concern with it, and I think that's what basically the reviews are saying. It's not the game itself that's bad; it's just too short.
Yeah, no, of course that makes sense. But I think being vocal about that and kind of putting that out there, then everybody then at least has the choice. They know what they're kind of jumping into, don't they?
Exactly. Would you want to get this, or would you wait for a sale?
I have to say, based on what I've seen of it, I probably would just pay the 16 quid and go in on it, if I'm honest, because I think I look at it and I think, I'm watching the screenshots, bits of the trailer, and thinking I know exactly what I'm getting, and I know where my start, my end point is, and in the middle I'll have fun. So yeah, I'd spend it.
Yeah. Groovy. Groovy. We'll go for groovy as our word.
Oh, we've got a new word this week.
We've got a new word this week, so we will move on to the next game, which is probably the big game of the week. As you can see there, Northern Iron, a big, massive YouTuber, was actually playing this game as well. It is Phantom Abyss. There's 345 reviews of it. This is another early access game. This early access game I would be tempted to actually get, because there's a couple of reasons why I'm a bit more confident in this sort of early access. The publisher involved is Devolver Digital, and so they're going to want to keep on top of this to keep their reputation up, whatever you make of Devolver Digital's reputation. But this game just looks absolutely mad and a load of fun.
I was just going to say that. I was literally watching it, and I've seen some of these trailers for this so many times now, and I'm thinking to myself, it never ceases to amaze me how nuts it looks. But it looks like a lot of fun. You can't deny it. It looks like one that you can see yourself. As you watch the trailer, you can see yourself playing it, can't you? And you can think, well, I know that I'm going to be cursing myself at that point, and I'm going to be forgetting that happens there. And you can kind of see all your mistakes falling into place, but you know that you're going to get the enjoyment out of it.
With it being a roguelike as well, every time it's going to be different, and it is going to do your nothing.
Exactly.
So what has it got? It is full controller support and Steam Cloud, so no achievements or cards as yet. As we can see, it is getting pretty positive reviews there. I think this is recommend if you like the look of it, and with it being only £16, $20 mark, I think that could be well worth picking up. Again, with early access, you get the warnings. It could have bugs. It's not a finished game, etc., etc. But I think people are enjoying this. And if you go on to Twitch and YouTube, you can see a load of people are playing this. So you can actually get a feel if you're going to want to play this or not.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I was just getting captivated by the trailer yet again.
As you do.
Yes.
Here is one which you like talking about. I'm putting you under pressure here.
Thinking to myself, which one's he going to pick?
It's another new client as well. It's Dual Universe.
Yep.
I know nothing about this game.
I was just going to say, this one came out of the blue for me, so it was a bit of a shock when I seen it on the list. But certainly, it's I try and keep everything away off my screen so that I kind of haven't got anything connected to it. But I mean, yeah, I'm probably in the same boat in terms of it's come out of nowhere, so I don't have a tremendous amount of knowledge on this one.
Yeah, it's I haven't seen this. Watch me get laughed at in the comments. Is it a bit like Star Citizen? It seems to be just a big, massive universe, or EVE Online or something along them lines, where it's building out that way. Seems to have got good reviews here. I don't know much about this at all. And I've got thought. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't hear it.
It was after the destruction of Earth. So we'll skip this on a wee bit just to see what's happening. So look, No Man's Sky and stuff like that. So
yeah, it's got that sort of vibe, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's a pay monthly game, as we've seen there. And it's £20, so about $30 for 3 months. So about $10, $7, $8 a month if you're paying monthly, $30 if you're paying 3 months. I haven't a clue.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of those to say, kind of maybe go and check it out and kind of do a little bit more research yourself. I know certainly, I'll be going to have a little bit more of a look at it and kind of try and gain some more info on it in that respect. Interesting, of course, that it's a pay monthly game.
Yep. So no money up front, or sorry, no big money up front, I should say, like a game price. But I'm not sure. I think if you may know about that game, or you may not. But we will move on to Encased a sci-fi post-apocalyptic RPG. And guess what this is again?
Early access.
It's another early access game, but it seems to have, they've got over 1,000 reviews on it here. I've got the trading cards. We've got the achievements. It is an RPG, obviously, because it's got an RPG in its title. Old school Fallout.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Or Wasteland.
Look at this at the start of the month with the blog.
We may have.
Because I don't know. It feels very familiar in the sense of kind of that top-down 70s vibe.
Yeah. We may have had a quick look at it.
Yeah.
It's £24 mark. So it's in the GFN bracket, as we call it. It's being worked on regularly. That's what you want to see. And it's got relatively good reviews, 40 hours worth there, 5, 4. So it seems to be a good range. Oh, I said it right. Fallout and Fallout 2.
Yep, you got it bang on.
Yep. So anything you want to add on to that?
No, I mean, I think personally, it's certainly, there's a lot of intrigue about it. I'm not sure with it being kind of £23, £24 in early access, whether it's something I'd dive in at this point. I'd probably either maybe wait a little bit further down the road and kind of see kind of what happens with the updates on it. And then potentially kind of see what happens with the price point, whether they maybe do something on it, price wise, just to try and kind of get more players in.
Yeah. It looks like something about the autumn 2021. Maybe that's when it's coming out from early access, but it is getting worked on, and it seems to be relatively updated regularly. If I could speak. We'll move on to the next game. I've heard of this game before. I think I've got it in my library, but I haven't played it. The Final Station. It is another post-apocalyptic survival game, but it's 2D this time, and
nothing wrong with a bit of 2D action.
Not at all. So 11 quid for this. So about $15. It's got all the features there. It's another tiny build game. They good supporters of GFN. Nothing. You're not sure about this?
I don't know. I'm on the fence. There's something about it, isn't there? There's something. I'm sitting as we watch the trailer, as we like to do, because of course, I think we might have mentioned earlier, but when we do these, we kind of tend not to do we really don't do any kind of prep work on it. We tend to like to go in and kind of look at some of these games and kind of give as close to a genuine reaction for those that we kind of don't know about. But there's certainly something in the trailer, and I think it's 2D. It's going to kind of provide something else, isn't it? So, I think it's one to keep an eye on. And at the end of the day, at £11, at that kind of price point, it's not necessarily going to kind of break the bank if there's even the remotest bit of the trailer kind of enticing you. I don't think it's necessarily going to kind of break the bank, and you kind of see where you go with it. And kind of potentially have some fun.
Yep. Basically all that. There's just so many of these wee games out there which they've got things about them and you want to try them, but there's just so many games to actually play. It's just mad because the games are just dropping all the time, and we go through this all the time going, we want this game, we want that game, and we just don't have the time to actually play them all.
That is the thing, isn't it? We're always talking about how many games we've got in our library, what we want to get to, and then we kind of do another one of these on a Thursday, and all of a sudden, before you know it, we finished a Thursday show, and here we are with another 4 or 5 games that we've added to our wish list that we want to kind of jump in and play. So
Yeah, it's just games are just improving all the time. The standards are just going up all the time, and the differences between a really outstanding game and a really good game are just getting smaller. And these indie titles, some of these indie titles a couple of years ago would be absolutely standout sort of games, and it's just amazing to see. I'm just excited how things are going. I think we've covered this game before, have we?
Yes, I believe we have.
And we're just getting the Epic Games version of it.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, speaking of Epic Games, remember to claim, if you're watching this, bang on time, your Epic free games, because Overcooked 2 is still on the free game, and you can play that on GFN. Just always claim your free games, because I think we did this a couple of weeks ago. We went through my game library on Epic, and so many of the games are available on GFN, and I haven't paid a penny for them. It's just went whoosh, just getting these games. So Iron Harvest, I think I can't remember what we said the last time about this.
I think that, if I remember correctly, obviously because of it being strategy and with it having the kind of single player, multiplayer aspects, I think we said that it had something about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was certainly going to, appeal. If strategy is your thing, it was certainly going to kind of have a good appeal.
Yeah. We will move on to the next game. It's a game I'm actually going to talk about.
Ooh.
Our Wash Simulator. I think this looks absolutely mad, and I want it because it's just looks. We've talked about it before. There's games you could just bad day at work, just want to come home and just do something just to take your mind off it, even though you should really be doing this in your own house and garden. Why not do it? Why don't you do it in a game? This is one of these titles I call a nearly day and date game on GFN, because it's only been out for a month, and I think this just looks like a game you could. It's a game you'll just get shouted at by your partner. Why are you doing this in the game, and why aren't you doing it outside?
Dear. Yes, or in my case, I'm probably safer with a power wash, kind of in a virtual environment than a real environment. So.
Yeah, I think this just looks absolutely brilliant. Just to fill out your library, overwhelmingly positive, over 2,000 reviews on it. The GFN price point, £16. This is an early access game, which I could say, yes, I would pick up this early access game, because you just know what you're getting with this. Even if it's only a couple of levels, you know what you can just go and do that. It's not like a big story-based game. It is just going to be that. And they're constantly being worked on. That looks like they do an update every Friday, and
you've got a roadmap as well, so that's good to see.
We don't talk about roadmaps on Friday. We're not allowed to talk about roadmaps. So yeah, there's the roadmap. So we'll close that down. And brilliant. I've not logged in. If I was logged in, I would be adding that to my wish list.
I was going to say that'd be your wish list edition for the week, wouldn't it?
That would be my wish list edition, correct. Again, just a game to take your mind off things, bad day at work, and you just want to just chill. The next game is something a bit different. It's Spirit of the North.
This one really appeals to me.
Do you want to talk about it, then?
I've not played it. It's one that I've kind of seen floating about. And because of that kind of dreaded backlog that that we talk about all the time, it just kind of never got anywhere close to it. But there is, I don't know what it is. Again, it's one of those things. When I first seen the trailer, there's something in the trailer that captured me about it and that made me kind of want to. I love kind of the an adventure style game, and it as you kind of watch it here, that there is something there for me that makes it a game that I kind of feel like I have to visit and I have to play. Obviously it looks like it's a pretty visually impressive. and it looks like it'd be, a great deal of fun, if I'm honest with you, and obviously something a little bit different, kind of, playing in the fashion of a fox.
Yep, it is something completely and utterly different. And it has got very positive reviews, so most people like it. The GFN price point, £16 mark, and yeah, I think it looks pretty good. And they seem to be still doing stuff, or that was a couple of months ago, but they still seem to be doing bits and bobs. And about 10 hours seems to be the length, around the 10-hour mark. So
that's that's going into my wish list. I might have to finally get round to that one.
There we go. There's our wish list ones for today.
I shouldn't say that. It might go into the Steam Summer Sale.
Yep, it could do. We will move on to Strategic Mind Spectrum of Communism. It is 13th of November 2020, so still a relatively recent sort of game. It is a turn-based tactics game, and let's get on to this. Yeah, looks fine to me. I would probably give that a go at some stage.
Certainly, I think it's definitely more kind of up your street than it would be for mine. I don't know. As I seem to have got older, I know we talk about age a lot on our kind of GFN Thursdays, but kind of the strategy ones just don't seem to sit particularly well with me as I've got older. I don't know whether I just don't have the patience for it or whatever it is, but there we go.
Yeah, everybody's gaming tastes change as life goes on. What you used to really like, you don't like anymore. Then you'll find that this is what's happened to me. I used to love FPS games. That's all I used to play. And then I moved on to other games, and then I'm back to playing some FPS game. I just seem to everything just changes, and I talk about this all the time. Cloud gaming just opens that up for you, because you can get all these games. If you claim your Epic games, you get a load of games on Humble Bundle or the Steam sales. You can actually just sit and play them and not have to worry. If you don't like them, you can get rid of them. It's a good thing in a bad way, cloud gaming, because it makes games a bit more, I hate using the term disposable. It means you can just buy them, and then if you don't like them, you just move on. And I think you see that with people who are really into cloud gaming, that they buy more games because they just can, and they don't have to worry about thinking about them and where they're going to put the boxes, where I'm going to store it, and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think kind of coming into cloud gaming, I've played a lot more games, I guess in general, but I've also played a lot more titles that maybe I maybe wouldn't had at a previous point. And that's been a good thing. That's been brilliant, because I've had so many new experiences.
Yeah, we just go off on these tangents all the time. You should see some of our other shows that just go absolutely mad. Some of the two. I think the next game's going to be the same. Pacifist, I said, we're going to keep it. It is going to be Strategic Mind the Pacific. I don't know where that came from. I think just more of the same. This must have been the year before one, still the same sort of price. I think we'll be saying the same stuff about that one.
Yep, I would agree. Yeah, definitely.
So I don't think there's too much we can go on to that one. Oh, we could go down a rabbit hole in this one, all right. But shall we?
Oh, which one is he going down? Oh, okay.
It is $5, so you're going to talk about £3 or so, and it is Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Conviction. I actually played this game. I liked it. It's a Splinter Cell game.
I don't think I've played Conviction, actually.
I actually thought it was dead on. But I'm not a big, massive Splinter Cell sort of fan. I wouldn't be one of these people who are out there. This is where the rabbit hole I was talking about going down. I wouldn't be one of these people calling for it to come back really, really massively. I would want it to come back, but I'm not like, oh my goodness, it needs to come back now and yesterday. I did enjoy some of the games, but I'm not a big diehard fan of it. that price is absolutely amazing. And I would say my usual thing about Ubisoft ones. Remember, on GFN, if you've got Ubisoft Plus, you can get access to all these games on it. And if you're thinking of getting one or two Ubisoft games, it might be better just to get this for the Ubisoft Plus.
Yes, yeah, definitely. And I think it kind of goes into one of the other conversations that we quite regularly have about kind of maybe some slightly older titles and bringing them back for a newer, fresher experience and trying them in the cloud, kind of without tying up any kind of hard disk space or anything like that. There's some of these experiences are coming back. They look a little bit fresher. They've maybe had a bit of a facelift in some instances. And kind of you just enjoy the nostalgia of kind of jumping back in and experiencing them, don't you?
You do indeed. With playing them in the cloud and years after the games have been released, you touched on it slightly. You basically you can up the specs of what you maybe played them off before, and it becomes like a remaster nearly of the game because it's like playing it completely and utterly different. So I think this game is well worth checking out. But if you're thinking of getting a couple of Ubisoft games, maybe look at Ubisoft Plus, just because you get that added benefit of getting all the brand new games as well. We'll move on to our last title, which is Please Don't Be Bad, Tools Up. And it is a co-op game. Great to see more co-op games.
Yes.
Because we had Overcooked last week, what we just touched on. So another co-op game. It's got mostly positive reviews. It's a couple of years old. I don't want to say what it looks like to me. It looks. Oh, I'll just say it looks like a mix between Get Packed and Overcooked.
Yeah, it does. It does. It looks like it kind of sits right in there, a little bit of a hybrid mix between them. It looked, I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks like great fun.
Yep, I think that looks absolutely spot on. There's a demo of it. This is something I would want to see a bit more of as well. And the suggestion I would give is get more demos up in GFN. And even if you have to lock them behind founders or priority members, I think that would be great because I think that would be a great one to actually demo.
I think it would, especially with it's quite a lot of the titles we see on a weekly basis may have a demo available, and if they do, and you had that kind of ability, especially if the titles come in, that would be brilliant to be in a position of doing that.
Yeah, because we do know that GFN drop demos on occasionally, just like the Rico or whatever it's called. The open beta type one was there over the weekend, which I know is absolutely blowing up on Steam. So I think that's going to be coming to Steam, but I think we're just wait for the official confirmation or officially coming to GFN. I think because of the last couple, I think it's nailed on coming, but you just can't be 100% sure. This one's got a load of features here. So you've got the trading cards and achievements. We'll have a wee quick look at the reviews. And it is, I think it's a party game. It's just 52 hours. It just gets me. Party game. I think you know what you'll get with it.
I think it's exactly that, isn't it? You kind of go into it, you're going to have a bit of fun with it. It's, I don't think it's going to blow your mind, but you're going to sit there and kind of, you might split screen, bit of co-op, maybe even some arguments along the way, as co-op games tend to kind of introduce. But yeah, I think it looks like great fun.
Yep. Just before we close here, we'll just go for a wee tiny one. Rabbit hole. Coming out from E3 period, where do you see GFN now? Because we've got a couple of announcements which came out. There was a brilliant post up on the GFN Reddit where it gave you a list of games which are likely to be coming to the platform over the coming months out from E3. Where do you see GFN? And what did you think they had a good E3?
I think they had I think they had a good E3. The exposure. I know we spoke about it a little last week, but I think they did really well to kind of capture some of the exposure. That PC Gamer show where there was kind of the GeForce Now bot and those intervals that we spoke about. Where it kind of popped up and there was a different message every time, I thought was brilliant. The fact that we've obviously, again, we talked last week about Guardians of the Galaxy, which came off the back of E3. Generally speaking, I think the way 2021 has gone for GFN has been pretty darn good, I'd say. They've managed to kind of throw a whole load of games onto the platform. They're more and more day and date releases, which we're seeing, and they're also pulling surprises out the bag as well. We've seen stuff that kind of just, logo dropped onto a website and we kind of get the slightest hint that it's coming. I think it's really, really well placed to kind of kick on from here. Obviously, what they're doing now is we spoke about earlier is consistency. I think, and again, I think we probably touched on it last week. What I'd like to see them go and do is then kind of recapture maybe, a kind of publisher and get them back on to the platform as they have been doing in some cases. Maybe something like, we spoke last week about EA Play. Or something along those lines, something that kind of really kind of sends another message to say, yeah, here we are. But I think they've done a fantastic job in terms of the communicating, social media, their kind of, their interaction it's been brilliant. And then the diversity and range of games that they brought to the platform has been brilliant. And they really have pulled out some real surprises. I mean, if you think Biomutant kind of almost came out of nowhere, I think we were kind of pretty shocked by that one. And then obviously, here we are this week talking about Kena, and that's again another surprise. So it's brilliant to see, and I think it puts them in a really healthy position.
Yep, coming out from E3, I think GFN have set themselves up pretty well. With the Kena Get or whatever way you pronounce it, that is setting them up for down the line as well, for maybe Xbox users or Switch users who want to jump in and play that. The range of games they're getting is absolutely brilliant. You touched on it. It isn't just what you would classify as PC games, like the strategic mind ones, which we were talking about there, which would be like hardcore sort of PC games. They are getting the complete and utter breadth of the gaming library now, and I think that is just setting them up in a real great space. How many games are on GFN now? It is just mad.
It's crazy.
And it just keeps on going up, and I think they are in a great spot here, and I just hope that they continue to improve like they have been doing, because every week they're bringing us the games and they are bringing us feature updates on a regular basis. They're just going about their work nice and quietly, and they're just pushing it out time and time again. And I can see myself using GFM well into the future years down the line now, because just the way things are going. Obviously, they're, like you said, we want to get some more storefronts on board and things like that, but they're just in a real good place. What I'd like to see this week, or what I saw this week, which I liked, I would be a better way of saying it, was the competition, which I think is still ongoing with GOG. They have where you can actually win some Founders memberships, or no, priority memberships for a couple of months, and you can actually win some Witcher games as well, which you can play. I hopefully that's them cementing that for further down the line, so they can bring more games off GOG, because I want the old games as well as the new ones. Just give us the whole range. So I think GFN has had a cracker E3 period, and the PC Gamer show just was the cherry on top with the promoting, because that's what we want. More people using GFN means it's easier to bring even more games to the platform, and then we'll be spending about 2, 3, 4 hours going through each of these games each week, because there's so many coming.
Yeah, we certainly will. I think when it is a kind of a big tasty list, it does take us a little bit longer to kind of get through it. But it's good. It's what we like to see. And I think with the way we've kind of gone about consuming media as well, with kind of the apps being available in particular locations on kind of media streaming devices in their Shield TV. Obviously, it's available on the the Google TV device as well. You've got a way that you can kind of consume it outside of your PC. You can mobile, Chromebooks, Macs. There is that real kind of inclusion, for kind of an accessibility for everybody to kind of have multiple ways to kind of take advantage of the service.
Yeah. What I will finish this off on is just talking about this show, because I'm hoping we'll find some new people, and hopefully you've stayed till the end. We do this every week, except Barry won't be here for the next 2 weeks. But we will still be doing this show. I'll be trying to rope someone else into doing it with me for the next couple of weeks. And we try to keep these shows between half an hour to an hour. Sometimes they're closer to an hour and a half, depending how many games. And sometimes they're closer to half an hour if it's a bit of a lesser week. We just love talking about games, and we can just go and talk about them all the time. So if you want to hit us up, you're more than welcome to. So we don't usually do this. Barry, what's your Twitter?
It's at Paramedic Games. I had to think about that then. It's been so long since we've done that it kind of completely caught me off guard.
Let me say. There we go.
There we go.
And you can check me out at 12 Escape as well if you really want. We are pushing a lot of GFN stuff. Well, like I said, we've got 2 of our videos coming out, which should be live at the same time as this. We're going to be trying to we've got our GFN big show on Friday, which we'll hope people come in and join us with as well. We really enjoy GFN as a platform, as a cloud gaming platform, and I don't want to go down things here, but I am just really enjoying it, and I can't wait to see where it all goes.
Yeah, definitely. And what a way to end the show as well.
Yeah, there we go. So are we ending the show then?
I presume so, because I think we've said it.